Yeah. Okay, and this is going to distract a lot of people, so let's be serious.
It is. Yeah.
Okay, so hello and welcome to Modern Faith Unlimited. I'm William Henley.
And I would be William Quinn. Mr. Hanley, I see you having a little issue with your hair, I
Yeah,
see.
well, I said I wasn't going to get it cut until I was long enough to wear a scrunchie. So, yeah.
Wow. Um, I'm lucky though. I was able to get a haircut last week, so I just had to find the one that had the quickest wait time and just checked in. Boom, I was getting a haircut. So hopefully, pretty soon you'll be able to get one. I actually had to wear a face mask when I was getting the haircut, so it was a little bit of a nuisance, but it's okay. It wasn't too bad. I got my haircut, so I'm not worried about it.
You know what? I forgot the scrunchie, so let me go get the scrunchie. Okay, I'm back, and I am now hair is long enough to wear a scrunchie.
Oh man, I bet you're dying for the day to get everything that whole lawn cut that you had growing for the past few months. I'll bet, William.
Yeah. So I am still at the point where I'm like, do I let it just keep growing, or am I going to get a haircut? So
I gotcha. Just it's kind of sad. I mean, what's been going on, everything, just even everyday necessity stuff, like haircuts and just food. Some restaurants, we can't even go to them anymore, like enjoy them as usual because of this whole outbreak that's been going on, and just things we take for granted. Unfortunately, we just have to step back and not do for right now because of this pandemic. And I just hope that while we're not able to do those things, we can maybe just try to see what we can do as families in our homes together and just spend time together with families. And I think that's the best thing we can do right now. And the one thing that is good about this pandemic is families are coming together through this. And I look at it as the strengthening of the family unit. Hopefully, maybe not necessarily in a biblical sense, but more in a structurally unity sense, pretty much.
yeah. Okay, and this is going to distract a lot of people, so let's be serious. Yeah, no, I completely understand. Several of my cafes have reopened, and I know one of them I was talking to the waitress, and she said that she's been trying for 2 months to get unemployment, and they finally said that she was going to get her first unemployment check on May 29th, which they reopened Monday, the 18th. So,
Yeah, and I'll bet there's gonna be some long lines for that too. Driver's license places are gonna be long. Unemployment's gonna be long. Um, you know, phone and order stuff is gonna be long too. Unfortunately, I mean, hint hint. And I just I think when things get back to normal, everything is just gonna be up for grabs pretty much as far as demand goes. I mean, some of these services are going to be in high demand, like haircuts, for example. Those are going to be first day the haircut places are open, the barbershops open. Wait times are like 2 hours, and they couldn't even do check-ins, online check-ins. They had to do walk-ins, unfortunately.
yeah, and I know the first day that restaurants were open again here in Texas, 25% occupancy. I went out with one of my friends, and this was at Chili's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we had a 45-minute wait. Um, Now, most of the places I've been going to, we have been having I've been able to get right in because I think after the first couple of days of the novelty of people being able to go back to eat, things are starting to get back to normal. And unless you walk into a place like right at lunch or dinner time, I've been able to get into Cracker Barrel. I've been
Mhm.
able to get into my cafes. I've been able to get into Chili's. So, yeah.
That's good though. I mean, I think it's gonna take some time for everything to get back together as normal, but I think we're gonna get there. I think by the end of the summer, hopefully, we'll be okay. I know a lot of colleges now are talking about maybe just having the fall semester end at Thanksgiving, just condense everything into the fall semester and into Thanksgiving, then just have, I guess, give everybody extended winter break, which kind of makes sense too. I don't know if our school TKU is going to do that or not. So, I mean, I haven't heard anything about that, but um, that makes sense because I guess it's due because the virus could grow back, unfortunately, in the wintertime. I mean, they just want. I see that as precautionary, just to make sure it doesn't affect as many people as it did the first time around.
Yeah. So, anyway, um, I guess for me, I'm out of school for the summer, and I can't tell you how great it's been the past couple of weeks. I've been under a ton of stress, and just uh, my Hebrew class, I thought I was going to fail. Ended up making an 82 in there. It's a B, but hey, I'm happy for the B. Um, my other class, which was Galatians, uh, you know, I was doing well all the way up until we got to the term papers and the final, and I just thought that I bombed everything. And I must say, I think Leader just really likes me because I made a 97 on the final and a 96 on both of my papers. So,
That's good.
in fact, like my book report, I tore the book apart, saying that um, I said there was good content, but I said the content did not match the author's thesis, and I said. I said the author's thesis and conclusion could have been wrapped into a 10-page article. And I said, I think he just threw a bunch of filler in there to sell a book. And I said, it doesn't mean that the content is bad, it just means that it didn't match his thesis. And the professor wrote back and said, I completely agree 100%.
Wow, that's awesome though. I mean, it shows that. I mean, you're doing your due diligence, William, and it just seems I like it that even though it seems a little gloomy, especially I think that you said the Hebrew class was giving you problems, but
Yeah,
that you made 82 on. God took care of you on that, man. I commend you for that. Hebrew's not an easy language, and I think your due diligence and perseverance really helped you out on that. I think and I really commend you for that for pushing forward and finishing that. So
I am going to try to pull up my project for Hebrew. Let me just so I can kind of show everyone what it looks like.
this is your Hebrew
Yeah, so
final.
this is this is my final project for Hebrew, and I'm gonna blow this up. So I'm gonna view, not print mode. About web layout. No, read mode. Okay, that's better. Um, Okay, so I was translating Genesis chapter 16, verses 7 through 10 and 13 through 16. This is where um, the angel spoke to Hagar after she'd run away. And so I had to translate from the original Hebrew here. And
Hmm.
then not only did I have to translate it, but I had to write why I chose those that translation. And so I came up with, and an angel, a messenger of Yahweh, found her at the natural fountain of water in the wilderness near the fountain of water on the road to Shun. And he said, Hagar, slave girl of Sarai, from where did you come from and where are you going? And she said, I am fleeing from the presence of my lady Sarai. And the messenger of Yahweh said, return to your lady and suffer under her hand. And the messenger of Yahweh said, you will become great with blessings of luxuries and will not be counted with the multitudes. And in shock, she called Yahweh the God who has seen. Then she uttered, have I also seen him? That is why the oasis is called Bir Rai, for it lays between Kadesh and Bered. And out of Hagar came Abram's son, and Abram called the child that came from his relationship with Hagar Yishmael. And Abram was 86 years old and worn out when Hagar gave Yishmael to Abram. Um,
Great
and
job.
what's really
Great job.
interesting right here is right here, verse 14. Um, the verse 14. The King James actually mistranslates this, and most English translations have followed suit. And the thing is we already have mentioned right here in verse 7 that she was at a spring, a natural fountain of water, in the wilderness.
Hmm.
King James translates this here in verse 14 as well, which is wrong. Because why would anyone build a well where you already had a spring? And the word in Hebrew actually means shade or shadow. And so the proper translation would be oasis and not well. So King James is wrong. Aha, King James. So,
I guess there goes the theories of all the King James only opponents. So something's in there
yeah.
wrong. So
Which I know my dad, who he's not King James only, he's King James fan. And he said, well, in all honesty, people in England probably didn't know what an oasis was. And I'm like, fair enough.
there.
But I said, it's still mistranslated.
Gotcha. Well, William, that's great. I'm glad you were able to pull that out in Hebrew, man. That was a great job on that translation. So, before we get to the topics tonight, let me go ahead and pitch to our sponsor, of course, which is Anchor.
I guess first topic tonight is we want to talk about the passing of one of the greatest evangelists and preachers of our
Mm.
generation, Ravi Zacharias. Uh, William, you want to say a few words about Ravi?
Okay, well, my first interaction with Robbie was actually when I actually was still in junior college, going to Eastville College, Mesquite. I was convenient enough because there was a Baptist bookstore just down the street from Eastville College, and I liked to go there a lot, because I didn't have a car at the time. So I went there, and I was looking through the bargain book section, and then there was a Ravi Zacharias book. I never heard of the guy. The book was actually, I think, one of his best sellers at the time. I guess it's called Command. I think it's Command Live Without God. I think it's what it's called. And it was about apologetics, and I read a lot of it, and it was just really deep. It really challenged me to try to live out my faith and defend the faith as best as I could. And then after doing more research in Ravi, I found out he went to like all these different Ivy League schools in Oxford and Cambridge, and did these lectures about defending Christianity, and I thought that was just incredible, you know. Um, and I don't know, I didn't know much about his background, but the man was on fire for Jesus. And going to these secular schools and defending the gospel. into a world that just pretty much blatantly tries to dethrone Christianity as much as it can, will just and doing it with success and class, respect. That's just you can't help but to respect the man that did it for all these years. And I know he's spoken at Gateway a lot of times, and I know Pastor Robert just loves the man to death, and just and I knew actually the last time I saw him speak there that he was having a lot of health problems. So I knew this time was coming. And I knew pretty much when they made the announcement a few days ago that he was terminate, and I knew the bad thing is we were going to lose him here, but the good thing is I know for a fact the angels are rejoicing in heaven right now because God's servant Ravi Zacharias is now in heaven, dancing with the angels and looking Jesus face to face and just giving a big hug from him right now.
Yeah. I first met him at Gateway, and I agree that I mean Pastor Robert loves him, and I know I I was in a bubble before I came to Gateway, and uh, I mean, if someone was a Baptist speaker, I probably knew who they were. But it's like outside of that, it was like Kenneth Copeland. I knew no other. Um, so I first heard of Ravi Zacharias when he was at a Gateway, and I'll tell you, he is one of the very few people who is not only a great evangelist, he was a great preacher and he was a great
Mm-hmm.
teacher. And there are
Yes.
very few people who have all three gifts. You rarely find people who even have two of those three. He was all
Yeah.
three. And in fact, I just looked up his page on Wikipedia, and it says that he was an an apologist. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I would probably define him pretty well.
Yeah. Of course. Ravi just, another thing, Ravi just had a lot of respect to him, especially the people he was maybe debating with or trying to answer questions with. He's always respectful. Never try to be pushy, never in your face, never, haha, this is it, I told you so. He was never like that at all. He was very respectful, very gentlemanlike in trying in defending the gospel and the Bible and Christ. And you can't ask for anything else. That's the best way to do it. And I look at that as, hey, being gentlemanly, being with reverence, but be still being firm as to defending the faith. He won a lot of people to Christ, even in the most secular areas possible. And that's a man that needs to be respected as and used as a template, you know, in the area of apologetics.
So yeah, with me, I first heard about it, and I think this just shows the impact he had across different um, denominations, different Christian groups and stuff. I first heard about his passing from
Mm-hmm.
Anna Duggar on Twitter. Anna Duggar is Josh Duggar's wife, who's the oldest of the Duggar kids. And
Yeah.
if any of y'all follow them, they're extreme fundamentalists, and so the fact that they had respect for Ravi, as well as the charismatics and the Pentecostals, I mean, this just shows just how great of a teacher he was.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I liked about Robbie, since he's been, doing this apologetic thing for so long, he's influenced generations of Christians from when I first became a Christian in the '90s, even to now. I mean, people now like Tim Tebow and Sadie Robinson, they love him to death, man. I mean, and just I grew up. I mean, he was around when I was a Christian. When I started out in the Christian faith, and that just shows his, his reverence. That's a man. Just he knew that generations were going to come and go, and then he had to adapt. I mean, I don't know if he had to adapt his style to the new generation or not, but it worked. I mean, look at all the people now that even that probably weren't even born when he started have so much respect for him. That's awesome. I mean, he speaks at Passion conferences now. He's been to Gateway conference. I think he's done Hillsong a couple times too. So
Well, just I guess I think we pretty much said all we can about him. I mean, he was just awesome. He's going to be missed, and so welcome home, Robbie.
welcome home, Godspeed, Robbie, and um, we'll see you on the other side, Robbie.
You posted a great blog this week about peace and patience, and it's a absolutely great blog. Um, Definitely encourage everyone to go read it. It's at modernfaithunlimited.com. So,
Mm-hmm.
you want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, it's just because of what's going on, with this crisis going on. I know there's going to be a lot of anxiety. People are going to be just so uptight and anxious to get out and just do whatever, just rush and just do everything rushed and everything. And I just want to write something that, hey, especially for believers, I know it's going to look, we're going to have the tendency to rush things. Just take some time to stop, listen to God, and just see what He has for you. Just see what plans He has for you in this time. And that's all I wanted to write about in this blog. And I did use the biblical example in Mark 4:35 to 35 to 40, when Jesus was on the boat. And basically, I'm pretty sure everybody knows the story about that, but if you don't, I'll just give you the Cliff Notes version. Basically, him and the disciples are on the boat. They're going to the other side, and the big storm hits. Everybody on the boat is just frantic, panicking, and just trying to do whatever they can to save themselves, except for one person, which is Jesus, on the boat sleeping. And then one of the disciples woke him up and tried to please help us. And then Jesus said, "Oh, you've little faith," and then he calmed the storm, and pretty much everything was good and gravy. So, yeah, I just wanted to write this because I use that story as a microcosm as what's going on in the world today. Everybody's just in a panic right now about this whole epidemic that's going on. I'm talking especially to believers too. I mean, it could be relatable to everybody, but especially to believers that know Jesus. Take some time, even if it's like just 5 minutes a day. Stop, listen to what he has to say for you, because it doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes or 5 hours you're spending with Jesus. He wants to know his children. He wants to talk to his children. And no matter how much time you spend with him, it's going to be blessed. He blesses his children regardless. And that's all I wanted to write about pretty much.
Yeah, I know with me, I've definitely been experiencing tons of anxiety, and uh, I am just going to come out and say this. It's been a while since we recorded a show. I am actually now on antidepressants. It's I'll tell you this. I thought I was extremely introverted. I didn't realize how extroverted I was until I couldn't leave the house for a few weeks.
Wow.
And
I hope you. I hope you're doing okay on this, man. Because I mean, You're in prayers. That's somebody trying to fight, man.
Yeah, and I know uh, it's been great. One of the things is people have actually been calling me. I have uh, a friend now who I guess you could say kind of like an accountability person that I speak with at least weekly, which I never had before COVID started. I uh, Man, I'll tell you the scary thing. I got extremely sick a couple of weeks ago, and because there's the chance that I might have COVID, I couldn't go to
Hmm.
see a doctor or go to a clinic or anything. I had to go get myself tested. And then so there was the wait time to get in to get tested. Then there was the 5 days of them growing the cultures in the lab. Then I had to wait for my results. So by the time I got tested and my results and everything else, I was over pretty much what I had, which I tested negative, but uh, pretty sure that I had strep throat, which I probably needed
Yeah,
antibiotics.
that's good, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure God had His hand of protection on you. That's the only thing I can say about that. I think what you're doing, especially you wanting to be a one day a pastor at church. I do see that in you. I think the enemy really tries quickly to put anything he can in front of God's people to try to distract them. And I think you handled that with flying colors, William. I think you're. I think this roadblock that the enemy tried to put in front of you just didn't work. And I know you were praying. I know I had people praying for you to get well, and especially your testing negative. I did see that, and also trying to put fear in your head, which was I know you're a strong person, William, and I know for a fact that God's got your back. He's not going to let this destroy you. I commend you for that. As a brother in the Lord with William, I just God's going to get you through this. He's going to get all of us as children through this episode, this season in life right now. He's going to take care of us. I know He took care of you. He's going to take care of me. I know there's things in my life that I'm praying for. I've been praying for a long time. I know He's going to take care of us, man. So kudos to you, man. God bless you, man.
Yeah, I know. One of the things I was telling people, I said it wasn't to me. I wasn't scared that I was going to die of COVID or anything. My biggest fear was that if
Mm-hmm.
I had it, I got sick right after they started lifting restrictions, and I was
Mm-hmm.
scared to death that I was going to have to go into
Oh,
quarantine
yeah.
for another 2, 3, 4 weeks before I could come out and do stuff. And uh, just the thought of just having this relief and an expectation and excitement that I was going to be able to go out and do stuff again, and then the fear that I was going to be locked up in quarantine again. Um, I mean, just absolutely insane. I'll tell you something else I've noticed is I've had to get a thicker skin recently and learn not to take stuff personally because I've had to come to realize that everyone is under a lot of stress right now. Everyone's under a lot of
Right.
anxiety. And people are starting to get short and snippy with each other. And uh, there's there's been I'm not going to go into the details, and I don't want to call anyone out or anything like that. But uh, 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 there's been times that I've just been absolutely terrified that either I've lost a friendship or that I may be in trouble at work or something like that. And it's just because people are just so snippy and short fused and short tempered right now. And
That that's going to take time to develop. I mean, having thick skin. I'll use me as an example. When I was growing up, I would take things personally, and it's not fun. It gets on you. It got on my nerves. As I got older, I had to learn. It just takes time. I had to learn not to take things personally. It just take things with a grain of salt, and you know, I had to pray about it. I just pray that hey, these are human beings. They're sinners. They sometimes they don't know what to say, and I just think hey, just take just don't take it personal against people. Love on those people, man. That's the people you need to love on. If if you're having problems with something they say to you personally, best thing to do is just pray about them, and especially if they're not believers. I mean, if they're not believers, just pray for them. If they are, unfortunately, just have a man-to-man talk with them, and just after that, just don't and just let it grow. I've really learned to let things go as I've gotten older, and especially as I've gotten stronger in my faith. Um, because no, I mean, we know no one's perfect. I mean, especially believers in Jesus. We're not meant to be, high horse all the time. Just having a thick skin. Ask God to, help you on that. Just to be more people person, but at the same time, not to take what they say personally.
well, yeah, and I know, like with me, I'm a words of affirmation person. So, so on the
Mm-hmm.
flip side of that, things are extremely personal to me. And uh, I
Okay.
got some friends out in Tennessee, and whenever I go see them, I always take gifts to the kids and stuff. Which they got quite a few kids, so uh, but I remember the when I went out to see him in September. The father asked me, he's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, you don't have to always bring stuff to the kids. It's like, it's just nice to just see you." And about that time, the his 10-year-old daughter jumped out of the van, and she's like, "Thank you so much for this thing." She's like, "I absolutely love it. I can't wait to get home and play with it." And I looked up at the dad and I said, "That's why I do it, because I'm a words of affirmation person." And I said, "That made that right there meant more to me than anything."
That's called the gift of generosity. That's a gift. You know, I have that. I feel like I have that gift too. I don't I do it within my means, pretty much. But just just I like what you said that the words of affirmation. That's great. I mean, something I'd like to have too myself. That's something I probably need to pray for myself. And um, but those are two gifts of generosity and the words of affirmation. I mean, those are two God given gifts, and you should. I think you should use those to your full potential, William. And I think, especially since you wanted to be a pastor, those are two great traits, for pastoral work too.
Yeah, I know one of the things I've been doing is I've always been a good tipper at restaurants, but during this thing, just with things being so much worse for restaurant owners and waitresses and stuff like that, I've it's not unusual now for me to leave a 200, 300% tip.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, let's go ahead and wrap the show up tonight. 'Cause I don't want to go too long. We did. I think we covered a lot of material tonight, and I think it turned out to be a great show tonight. So, uh, let me just say that if you guys are watching this for the first time, we do have a website and we do have social media. Our website is modernfaithunlimited.com. Please check us out. All our blogs there, and you're welcome to comment. We'll try our best we can to respond back to your comments. Also on social media is on Facebook and Instagram is at Modern Faith Unlimited, and then Facebook is Modern Faith Unlimited. That's the Facebook page there, and then on Twitter is just at Modern Unlimited. And please comment. Uh, Try to get the word to, if you can, try to tell your friends aboard about get the word out about the show. We'd love to hear from you guys. And any final thoughts tonight, William?
Honestly, no. I think we've covered everything. So I think good night for me.
Okay, well, I'm William Quinn. That's William Henley. Everybody, have a great night and stay safe. We will see you next time. Good night and God bless.
Bye bye.